I'd bump into them occasionally. Normally I'm walking through Bilston, this voice behind me will shout out, "Hey, are you dead yet?" But it's one of the old ones. Yeah. They are still about. They're the lifeblood of Bilston. They were the heart and soul of this town, the Steelworks were.
See, I've always said this, the Steelworks was a very big happy family. You can't explain to anyone unless you've been there and seen it. Everybody was so friendly to everybody. It was just one big family. And if there's anybody ill or taken with an injury, you can't imagine how many people used to call me when I was around the works. If they saw me walking around, if I was in the works car, they'd flag the car down. What's happening to so-and-so, you know. They all wanted to know. So it was a very close community. It was just like one big family.
You know, it really got, and you're part of a family. It's your home away from home, because you spent weekends there. You know, I mean, the first 2 years I was there, I spent working Christmas Day, because we let the married men with children go and have their Christmas, and with those single blokes who weren't bothered, you know, we went to work, and that's how it was, you know. People give and take, looked after one another, yeah. And if you got a problem, you know, when wanted to know something or how to deal with something, you asked one of the older men, and they told you. Yeah, give them a smack of the gong, that'll cure anything.
It's just it was this family atmosphere, really, that was there originally, which lingered on, you know, until the last couple of years when everything started to deteriorate. Yeah. So it was just a family atmosphere, definitely. You know, people are happy to go to work, which is strange these days.
And when I left school in 1955, it was obviously natural I was going to go there, because my father and my grandfather and my mum's sister's husbands, my uncles, all worked there. And I worked right at the old entrance of the Stewarts and Lloyds. In fact, they used to pass our house to go to work. So I was there from 1955 until it closed in 79.
I mean, I'm going back then when people used to say we used to have heavy fogs. It weren't fog, it was pollution really, and a lot. I mean, you would hear the hooter from the Steelworks. I was just going
to say, you can always remember them doing a blast.
You know, or you knew if it was 2 hoots, 4 hoots, this, that and other, changing the roles, shift starting, the mill starting up and everything, and this, that, and you got to just learn that, like, you know, and you always knew somebody of age who worked at the Steelworks. You'd always see the change of shift, the town would get busy for half hour as everybody come down, you know, and you'd see the men. I mean, they probably wouldn't have shower rooms and washing facilities then, they'd be black, you know, and then...
As soon as basically the apprenticeship finished, you know, you went on shifts. You know, so we went to 3-shift system.
Did you have any friends that you made at work? Or did you get along with everybody?
Well, it was general. It was like I said to staff, you know, it wasn't a family atmosphere. You know. I mean, there was rivalry between the people, gangs sort of thing, you know, but nothing serious. You know, everybody would help each other, really.
We got West Indian lads, Asian lads, the Sikhs, quite a few of the Polish lads. There were quite a few, yeah. Mm-hmm. Everybody got on. There was no discrimination. They were there to do a job, and they got on with it, and they did it. Everybody rubbed in together.
There's the blast furnace. I used to have to climb the top of that blast furnace to see them, and there was no safety. There was just ordinary steps. I've got to climb like that. Anything like that today would be not acceptable. But there were loads of things that went on like that. And also when you used to go around the firm and you see the different furnaces that were casting and all the flames and the sparks were going out, it was unbelievable. But it was just part and parcel of the steelworks.
They were moving the slag ladles, and the one slag ladle, it exploded. And it was on the receiving end of molten slag. I remember a couple of the lads on the blast furnace being gassed the one night.
There was one death. Well, there's two deaths. While I was there, one of the shunters, he was coming out the line bay, and his sock must have been caught, you know, in the wheels. Dragged him along, killed him. I remember that because at that time, I'd be 18, I was on days labouring. We had to clean the mess up. So that stuck in him.
6-2, 2-10, 10-6. The only drawback was, if your relief didn't come, you had to work an extra shift. So if I was 6 till 2, and the lad who should relieve me on afternoon turn didn't turn up, I would have to work through till 10 o'clock at night. But if you did that, if it was on the 10 till 6 turn and you had to work a 6 till 2, you had an out for a breakfast. You had a free breakfast. If it was if you were on mornings and the afternoon lad didn't come, you had a note for a free meal and 3 free pints.
Well, what happened, as an apprentice, you moved around the various departments, like there was installation, blast furnace, melting shop, and various areas, the rolling mills, and you chose your area really. But then they moved you around in between, depending on where your skills were more apparent. Yes? So it was quite interesting.
Your memories of the social club?
Well, obviously the shows there, you know, I had a lot to do. Every year we always put on a Christmas meal for all the pensioners who had retired and a show sort of thing, and that went every year. And also we took them out for a day trip each year. Now you can't imagine 7 coaches going, can you? But this is all the retired employees, and then none of them missed it. You can't imagine how many people turned up to go on the day trip, because it was like one big family, and they're all very close. And even today, even when I go around now, because I give talks to different clubs and societies, I'm amazed how many people who've worked at the steelworks still turn up. You know, you just don't think how many years ago it's been. I mean, okay, look at my age now, what I was years ago. It's amazing.
Do you remember the social club there, or the social aspect?
Very happy hours spent in the social centre, yes. Before it was
What kind of
converted.
activities did you do?
Oh, I used to play snooker, darts, everything there, really.
Yeah, I mean, you'd finish work on 6 till 2 shifts. Our wives would usually meet us in the club and we'd go and wash the dust down.
When I started, like, you know, you must imagine first pair of industrial boots I've ever had to buy, right? So I'll lean them back to be polish them or sheet polish them. Right?
It's always your fault.
Right. I had proper shoelaces in, not bits of wire. Right. I had a proper belt, not string on my trousers up and this and that. Clean shirt every day. And with an A&A Bobby, he's a right Bobby Dazzler. Then he just got shortened to Dazzler. Right, you know. And that was Reno Gamboni who started that off. You know. And it just stuck. People just call me Dazzler.
Were you actively involved with the fight to keep the works open?
Yes, I was. I had a lot to do with Dennis Turner. Sadly, he died just a few weeks ago, sort of thing. But we did a big thing trying to really keep it open, because it was a memorable thing to all the people who lived in Bilston area. You know, it was just one big firm, but there's so many people who lived in that area, you know, who went to the steelworks, and we really fought hard, but we was getting nowhere.
What were your feelings at the time about it?
Very upset, beyond words. You can't imagine. I shed more than a few tears many times, because it was like one big family to me, and I didn't want to lose it.
There were rumours that it's going to close. And then it was, we had a big open meeting, union meeting, and it was confirmed that yes, it would close on XYZ date. but only the melting shop. The mill's on gone for another 12 months. And it was put to us, if we closed ourselves, if we did all our own wrecking, we'd have an enhanced redundancy payout. So we did. We did all our own wrecking, we knocked all our own furnaces in.
How did it affect Bilston?
It killed it. When they shut Stewart and Lloyd's, it killed the heart of Bilston, because Bilston was a steel town. When they shut Thompson's as well, it killed Bilston.
Because nickel at the time was £4,500 a tonne. I don't know what it is now. Yeah. We used to get the prices. There used to be a book distributed, or a little pamphlet, and it was called Man and Metal, and it gave you all the information of the major steel producers in the world. And we at Bilston were never less than fourth. There were many times we were top, because the recycling process that we got, we could run it down. You know, I mean, Elizabeth, it was brilliant at producing iron. She was when she was built, she was an experimental hot blast furnace, and she could use coke with oxygen and air. She could use oil with oxygen and air, and she could use gas with oxygen and air. Right, and it was what sort of made the place special.
Would you like to say anything about Elizabeth?
Well, it was a fantastic furnace beyond words, known to everybody. One of the things I had to do was, if anything happened up here, there's a big, well, you can't quite see it on this thing, there's a big sort of steps to go up. But if any man went up to any accident that was up there, he said it was funny what used to happen. They'd either slip on the steps or they'd come down, you know, and so it had to be a lady that went up, because the name of the furnace was Elizabeth. And it wouldn't have anything to do with men at all. It's got to be a lady that went up, and every time there was an accident at the steelworks, it was me that went up to see what had gone on. Well, I was first aid trained to start with anyhow, you know, and then I helped to get them down, because it used to be, they used to have a lot of gases that used to leak up there. You could overcome it quite easily when you was going at the side of the blast furnace. Yeah.
When you did a job, you got a self-satisfaction. You'd contributed, you'd done something, and I think that's why people that stopped there really liked it, because when we used to go on courses, they used to say we were arrogant at Bilston, because we considered ourselves to be the best, and we were trained the best. There was no lad that worked on the melting shop or worked on the blast furnace who went on there without his city and guilt, and they were taught in the training centre.
But a great fella. And I must admit, out of two people I must thank more than anybody, one of them is Queenie, and one of them is Stan, who, when we was on strike, and it was, I believe, the longest steel strike ever this country's ever had. Linda had just had Zoe.
We just moved in here. They were 6 weeks old.
And they've had a whip round on the picket lines for us.
We had what? Nearly £200, was it? Which was a lot of money.
Mid-70s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Early 2070s.
Oh, didn't we had the 80s when Zoe was born?
No,
when Linda was born, when Zoe was born.
She's the last round, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they knew, everyone's on strike as well, so even the strikers was on the picket line was what little bit they had.
Yeah.
And things were tight. There was tight. We went on strike as we broke up Christmas time, and we didn't go back till the 1st of April.
How did that make you feel, like knowing that you've got it's that community aspect? As a wife as well, perhaps?
It was so unexpected, to be honest. Everybody was expected to do their fair share on the picket line, and surprisingly enough, Jeff Anslow was the first one to get arrested, and it wasn't his fault. There was a truck who kept coming, and Jeff happened to be standing right at the front, and he put his foot up as if that's going to stop a truck, right? And because nobody was moving behind him, his foot went through the headlight, so they arrested him for criminal damage. And that's the truth. From what I can remember, that was incredible.
But from all, it was a desperate time because we've got no money.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for Rob's mum and my mum and dad buying our groceries, I don't know how we'd have survived, sort of thing. But he used to come back with some just funny tales, and the camaraderie on the picket line was like,
It's unbelievable.
can't wait to get on the picket line, sort of thing.
Younger, there's a lot of young middle-aged people who don't really even remember the steelworks that are living here now. Yeah. And it's part. I mean, we lost part of the heritage when the steelworks went, because there were so many. There were lots. As a boy, I mean, there were lots of little foundries, and they've gone. You know. Okay, it's left the place cleaner. And yeah, you know, it isn't. You look out and put your washing out on the line, and not smudges all over. But